my name is Jennifer Schindler, and I'm the owner and co-founder of Acorns and Twigs. And I've been getting a lot of questions lately regarding our pot holders. So I'm going to be making a pot holder from this book. We sell this on our store, and it has over 140 patterns in it. So it's a great inspirational resource, and it also has the instructions in the beginning and all the different glue colors that are available. This book is you can purchase on our website. So we are going to be working on this pattern today. I really like it. It has lots of black and white, and then like a gradient color in it. This is on page 37 of the book. Okay. We actually have two different size looms. This is our traditional size loom, this green one right here. And as you can see, it's about half the size of our Pro Loom, which is the black one. Also a big difference is also since this is smaller, this only has 18 pegs on this side, and this one has 27. So in order to make, to warp your loom, you need 18 loops for the small one and 27 on the big one. And so just for today, I'm going to do the smaller one since it's a little bit faster. What you also get when you purchase the loom is you'll get a metal hook like this, and then you'll get a plastic crochet hook. The crochet hook is for at the end when we take the pot holder off the loom. And this one is pretty handy. In the beginning, you can just weave with your fingers, but eventually when you start getting up towards the top, it gets tighter. And so it's really nice to have one of these to pull the loops through. You also, if you purchase the loom from us, they are made by Harrisville Designs. It's part of their Friendly Loom editions. And when you buy it, you get the loom, you get these two hooks that I was telling you about. You'll get a bag full of just starter loops, just random assortment. And you'll also find a little pamphlet about Harrisville Designs and instructions. So this specific one is actually a kit to make a purse. So there's actually also yarn in it, but that's not in the normal, just the Loom Deluxe product. So this one is a pot holder purse kit instruction, so it helps you make one of these purses. But today we are just going to be making a simple pot holder. I also wanted to show you, so the difference between the loop size. So the traditional loom needs traditional loops, and the Pro Loom needs pro-sized loops. They are much larger, obviously, for the loom. And when you purchase from us, you can buy bundles of single colors, so just the black ones, or just the white ones, or just the purple or yellow. So you buy each color individually, and you'll get a bundle of either 18 or 27 for the Pro Loom. And that will fill up one side of your loom. So you need two bundles in order to finish a full pot holder. We love offering that because then that way you can buy maybe one bundle of white and one bundle of black, and then you can have your design the way you want to have it, and it will be the most flexibility. So that's one option. And then there is the other option of buying a bag. It's about this size. This is random because I filled it up with my own loops, but it's about this size. And there will be one single color in each bag. So again, just the whites or just the reds or just the blues. But there will be enough loops in there of that color to make two full pot holders. So enough to fill both sides twice. those are the two options that you have if you're looking for single colors. You also have on our website the option to purchase a bundle of assorted colors, which will be either in our brights, so that's like reds, blues, greens, yellows, pastel colors, which is like daffodil, hydrangea. Let me see, I actually have the list here in this book. There we go, so I can show you that. Okay, so you have the bright line, which are all these colors. I don't know if you can see it very well. And then the pastel, which are, I think, wonderful for Easter and springtime. I just absolutely love them. And then now in the fall, the designer line is great. So it has like burgundy and spice and autumn and pewter and chocolate and just great colors for the fall. Warm and cozy. So today we will be doing, I'm going to start off with a black and white. And the loops that go on this way are the ones that you start with, and they're called your warp. And the ones that go on this way are your weft. So warp goes on first, and then comes the weft, and that's alphabetical, so you can kind of remember it that way. So I'm going to start off with a white, and then a black, I'm going to alternate between white and black, starting with white. These loops are cotton loops. There is a little bit of a nylon string in there to make them elastic, but they are, other than that, 100% cotton. They're made here in the United States, in Harrisville, New Hampshire. We are in Iowa. We've had a couple of questions about that this week. Penny, yeah, I see your comment. Let's see. Penny asks, what size pot holder can you make with the large loom? Okay, so that's a good question. The pot holder loom, the pro size, the loom itself is 10 inches. But once you take it off of the loom, the pot holder, the loops, they shrink together a little bit. And so the finished pot holder is about 8 inches square. This one, the loom itself is 6 inches, and then 7 inches, and the finished pot holder is 6 inch square. Hi, Mary. It's funny to see you on here this way. Okay. So I've alternated black and white all the way through. And now I'm going to start with, let's see, so we have blue. I have 3 blues. I'm going to post that on here real quick because I wrote it down so you guys see. Okay, so we did 9 each of the black and white, which means 18 on one side. And then we'll have 3 plums, 2 purples, 2 greens, 4 limes, 2 peacocks, 2 turquoise, and 3 blues. That's what we need for this. I'm actually going to start on the bottom with my dark blue. And so what you have to do is, it's just simple weaving over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm going to just start down here. I like to start with my fingers because I feel like that's the fastest way to go. And so I'm going under the blacks and over the whites. I'm sure you guys can see because I keep moving it. Let's see. I might actually end up using the hook because I'm feeling a bit nervous with the camera. Oh, see, I just popped them all off. I'm a little bit nervous with the camera, so I'm thinking I might even actually be faster with the hook. So my fingers are not doing what I want them to do. To get more practice. Okay, so that's the first one, and then you just pop it onto that first peg, and that's the first row. What also is important is you want to go ahead and from the get-go start pushing these down, because otherwise you'll get a like a arch going, and then you won't be able to get your last row in. So I kind of just like to push that down as far as possible. And then I'm going to do another dark blue, but this time I'm going to show you with the hook. So now I'm going to start on this side and go under the white and over the black. I think actually, you know what, I'm going to turn off this camera because you don't really need to see my face looking down. That way you can see that a little bit better. That might help. Okay. Over, under, over, under. Who remembers doing these at school or as a child? I know I did, and I know the generations before me did. I wonder, do they still do them? I kind of have a feeling they don't, which was sad because these are really great. My kiddos love them. They've been getting really creative and doing some very different things with them. My oldest, she's 10. She yesterday actually she made a square, and then she took it off the loom, and then she folded it in half and sewed these two corners together so that it was a triangle, and then she made it into a chicken, which is kind of cute. I should maybe post a picture of that later on. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. So this is the over the whites and under the black row. Again, another blue. So this is our third blue in this row. Just hook it onto that metal hook and you pull it through and hold on to it so it doesn't slip all the way through. Put it over here on that peg and then hook it in there. And again, like I said, with your fingers, just want to pull that down. Oh, shoot, look at that. So this happened. I just lost two of my black loops, and I'm just going to quickly put them back on there. Okay, so this would be over, under, under. Maybe I should move up that last row so it doesn't have to lose too much tension. Okay. So that's the first color. The next color is our turquoise. And I'm going to just keep going. Now you might find little strings like this on your loops, which is fine. It's just the way that the machine knits them. They're knitted in a tubular knitting machine, and then they just mass produce them, and then they just cut them off the machine. And so you might have two little strings on each loop on the beginning and at the end, and you can either cut them off before you start weaving. But I actually, if they're not like super duper long, I just actually leave them on there and then cut them off at the very end after I've taken this off the loom. Because most of them just kind of disappear in the weaving anyways. And it's not a quality issue. Some people, sometimes each charge of loops is a little bit different. Sometimes the machine will have a good day, then sometimes it'll have a not so good day. And so you'll have lots of little strings. And I've had a couple people ask if that's a quality issue and if they should send them back. But it's not really. If you once you use the loops in your loom, in your weaving, missed that one. Then they get so intertwined with each other that the loop itself will not unravel once woven into it. If you pull on the string before it's put into the loom, into your work, then it will unravel completely. So yeah, just leave them on there and then cut them at the end. Okay. Another thing that you want to be careful about, especially if working with kids, is every time after a row, I just kind of check to make sure. Well, this pattern is extremely helpful because you quickly can see all the whites are up on this row or all the blacks are up on this row. So it's very easy to see. It gets kind of tricky when your warp colors are different. Maybe either just rainbow colors randomly, or even if it's just one color, if this would all be black, it gets a little bit more tricky to see if you skipped a row or not. And if you did, you can just go back through and do it again. There was something else I was going to say. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back to me. Okay, so I did 2 rows of turquoise, and now we are going to do 2 rows of peacock. All of these colors are, except for the white and the black, but all the colorful loops that we have are part of our bright assortment. So if you wanted to do this pattern yourself, you could grab yourself a bundle of white and a bundle of black. So you would have 18 loops of each, which would be more than enough for this one side. You would actually be able to make 2. And either bundles of the individual colors or a whole bag. And or for the best bang with your money, you can purchase our bulk bags, which are just assorted colors, in this case of bright. And we have them in either 14 ounces, which we purchased these in great big bulk bags, and then we will weigh out each order on its own, except for the bags with the individual colors that make 2 pot holders. Those are prepackaged by Harrisville, and so we don't touch those. We just ship them off to you the way they came to us. But other than that, everything else we do ourselves. And so that means we are counting and sorting for the bundles. So we sort all the colors and then we bundle them up into either 18 or 27, depending on whether it's for the traditional or the Pro Loom. And then the 14-ounce bags of bulk, we also do, we weigh them ourselves. So that means if you would get 2, let's say you buy 2 bulk bags of brights, you'll get them in one bag because we'll just weigh it out and it'll give you 28 ounces instead of the two 14 ounces. We do this to avoid as much plastic as possible. As a business, we have to be very cautious on the amount of packaging that we are sending out into the world, and that's very important to us. So we will do anything and everything we can to avoid any unnecessary packaging. Also, our bundles, for example, we don't put them into a bag. They are counted, so we count 18 loops, and then we take a 19th loop, and then we just wrap them together with that 19th loop. That way, that 19th one does get pretty stretched out, but technically you could still use it. The loom doesn't care if the loop is stretched out or not. Or you can just toss it. But so you will get the 18 loops plus an extra to wrap them. And so what I was saying about the 14-ounce bags is we purposely chose 14 ounces so that the package itself, if you just buy one, stays under a pound, because then we can ship them first class instead of priority mail, which saves all of us. I mean, whether you have free shipping on your order or not, it saves like $3 or $4 on shipping costs. So that's why we chose 14 ounces. We also do have, and that's the most economical choice, is 5 pounds. So you can also buy all the bright colors, the assortment, or the pastel or designer, or white. Actually, we also have white in 14 ounce and in 5 pound bags. So that's, if you're addicted to pot holders, like some of the members in my family, my kiddos, are, then that is the wisest way to go. Is the 5 pounds or the 14 ounce. But then if you are working on something specific, like you want to do exactly this pattern, or you want to do maybe your favorite, your team's brand colors, like I'm not into sports at all, so I'm having a hard time finding the words, but yeah, you get the point. So if you wanted to have, or maybe you wanted to match the colors, the decorating of your kitchen, then the bundles are really the best way to go, because that way you have the most flexibility. And yeah. Penny, so your question was about the 28 ounce will make how many pro pot holders? Okay, so the 28 ounces, so that would be 2 of the 14 ounces. Let me think. Pro, so like I said, they're weighed out, and so we can't guarantee that you'll get a certain amount of loops in that, but our experience has been for the pro size, let me think, I think it's 4 to 5 finished pot holders with one 14-ounce bag. So if you're getting 2 28 ounces in total, then that would be about 8 to 10. And with the 5 pounds, let me think. I don't remember if it's, I think it's 50. I think you can get 50 finished pot holders out of that. But don't quote me on that. I will have, if you really need to know, send me a message and I'll find out. I have it written down on my desk. And then if you're buying traditional size, which is this one, the 14-ounce bag can get you probably about 10 pot holders, simply because these loops are so much smaller and you need less to fill a full loom. You get you can make more pot holders with that. A lot of people ask me about which size is would I recommend, the pro versus the traditional. And my answer to that, so just a second, let me think. Okay, so I did 4 limes And now I'm going to do 2 greens. So the traditional size loom is great for kids because you don't need much of an attention span. You can see I'm doing this. I've been at it for about 30 minutes, but I was goofing off at the beginning of this video. So I bet you could have a finished pot holder done in about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the age. Although I must say, my kids are really fast at this. They've gotten really good at it, much better than I am right now. And so yeah, I would recommend traditional size for kiddos. But if you are looking for one for yourself, see these little strings? That's what I was talking about earlier. I'll cut those off later. If you're looking for one for your own age, or for an adult, I mean, then I would recommend the Pro. Even for older children, I definitely would go with the Pro, just simply because they are kept busy longer, and the size of the pot holder is literally double the size of this. Yeah, okay, not literally, but it is double the size. And so I prefer, personally, in the kitchen, will always grab my larger size pot holders. I just love them. Yeah, I've heard a couple people talk about making rugs with these, or like placeholders. I've even actually, someone was saying that they, as a child, together with her parents, they made a whole sofa covering out of these. I would have loved to see something like that. Yeah, you can definitely make a rug out of these. It's super. I love that they're nice and thick, and if you wanted to make them even thicker, my kids yesterday were testing something out, and so they were weaving over. They were skipping 2. So instead of going over under each and every single loop, they were going 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, and it resulted in a much thicker pot holder. That was very interesting. So I mean, I'm thinking like for like a bathroom or something, like the squishy mats, a rug out of that would be really cool. It does shrink more though when you take it off the loom. I think they made it on the Pro Loom, and once I took it off, it looked like it had been made on the traditional loom. So that's how much it shrinks. Okay, so that was purple, or that was green. Now I'm going to do purple. Almost done. I only have 4 more rows. Yeah, Angie, did you order? I don't have all the orders in my head, but I'm assuming you ordered them on our website. And we are currently, as I'm doing this right now, my husband is still busy packing all the orders. We have had a lot of pot holder orders this whole year, actually. I think COVID has affected that. In the spring, we were selling out constantly, but people were actually buying them for making masks. They were using these. Apparently, they were sewing their own masks, and elastic for around the ears was completely sold out. I think that was in March already, or maybe April. And they were saying that they couldn't get elastic until September. So they would have had to wait this whole time. And so people were getting creative, and they were using these loops as for around the ear. And a lot of people said they're much more comfortable than the elastic that usually gets used on homemade masks. So that was a really awesome way to serve. Great. Okay, so as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but It is starting to get a little bit tighter and the tension is greater, so I'm having a hard time to get in there with my fingers. I like to kind of pull on it, makes it help. I have to take a drink real quick. Okay. Okay, so last color. This is Plum. You can see the difference between the plum and the purple. I don't know if you can see that. I have to think backwards with the camera. Sorry. Let me orientate myself. So there you go. So the plum is a lighter color, and the purple has more blue in it and is much more intense. Okay, so let's see. Angie, if I knew when you ordered and what you ordered, I could kind of give you an idea when we'll be able to ship it. Yeah. If you're making a lot of these, you got to remember to kind of relax your shoulders and get a bit tense. I usually like doing this in front of the TV because it's kind of something you can do meditatively, just without really thinking. So this kit that I was showing you earlier, it's actually for these colors aren't part of that kit, but I got those out of my own. But the instructions for it are for a purse, which I think is really cute. So you can make 2 pot holders and then sew them together on 3 sides. And then you make a strap, and then you have a little purse. And the kids are super excited about it and very, very proud to be able to show it off. A purse that they made themselves, and one of them has her little dolly in there all the time, and the other one has all of his money in there. It's very nerve-wracking as a mom to see all the coins and dollar bills running, just laying around in that all the time. But what are you going to do about that? Okay, and so I am going to actually start using the hook. Some people at the end, they'll just take these loops off, on, off, on, in order to get the last couple of rows in. That works too. I think I'm already too far. Last Thursday. Oh wow. Okay. Let me think. Wow, it just depends on what exactly was in the order, but I can check. Oops, let's see. Yeah, okay. This last row, I'm going to actually show you what I was just talking about with the over-under thing, because I don't want these things to pop off while I'm doing the video, because that would just take too much time. Okay, so this one looks like this row, I just have to take off the white ones. I have to think. Don't want to goof up. Okay. I actually haven't made very many of these myself because I have 4 kids that, like I said, they love doing this. And so we have enough pot holders to supply the whole town probably. And I would much rather use one that my kiddos have made than one that I make. But this is nice. There's something flying around. Oh, it's a stink bug. Great. I hope you guys don't hear it. It's kind of loud. So, okay, I did the last one. I'm going to push that down too. Okay. On the camera, it looks like this one is really, like there's an arch in there, but when I look at it myself, it looks pretty good. Okay, so now comes the part that a lot of people don't remember how to do. And so you need the crochet hook. You can either use this one. I personally don't like it because it's plastic and it feels like it's going to break. I mean, mine has never broken, but we also, if yours ever does break or get lost, we also sell crochet hooks that are made out of aluminum. And this is a 6.5 millimeter. So if you wanted to replace your hook, we can do that too. All right, so you just start at, you want to think, okay, which color do I want the loop that you hang it on to be? And I think mine should be black. So I'm going to go in this one. Okay, so I'm going to go in the purple. I go in, pull it off the peg, go into the next one. Now I have 2 on my crochet hook, and I'm going to pull the second loop through the first, like that. And then now I have 1 loop on my crochet hook. Let me see, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. Go into the to the next loop. Now I have 2. Pull that one through the first. Now I have 1. Go in, get another loop, pull it through, and then just keep going like that. It does take practice the first time, and this is one of the things that most kids will also need help with. So if you have a kiddo doing one on their own, the weaving part they can usually get on all by themselves, depending on their age, of course, and abilities. But this part requires more skill. I'm glad you're excited, Angie. Okay, so I've done one whole side, and now a little tip that I have. The problem is that a lot of people run into is that once you start working on the second side, these loops on this side will get loose and fall off, and then you'll have a big mess, and you might even, if you're unlucky, have to start all over, and that is not what we want. So the trick is to the side that you've already taken off. There's a couple different ways to go about it. If you don't have any supplies on hand, it doesn't matter. You can just take the metal hook and just put maybe 2 or 3 of those loops back on one of the pegs so that the tension stays. I like to do 3. That way there's not too much tension on one single or 2 single ones. And then it kind of just gets what's the word? Misshaped, I guess is what I'm looking for. So I just kind of, I put this one, and this one just randomly on there so that the tension stays. And then I keep going. So this was the blue one. And to go around the around the corner, yeah, you just keep going as if it was on the same side. No big deal. I love when you do alternating colors, like I did with the black and the white. I love the edge. I think that's just so pretty when they are crocheted together. I also created a PDF. It's available on our website in case you ever wanted to try your own design and kind of see what it looks like before you start on the loom. It's a pretty simple PDF. It's just a grid where you can color it in with some color pencils and kind of see your design before you start. I like that. Okay, so here again, I finished the side, so I want to do 2 or 3 of these loops. I'm going to put them back on the edge. And so what I was going to say, if you do have like a paper clip or something, see, it gets really tight, and so you need some muscles for this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you can use a paper clip. That helps. So then with the tension. And then another customer of ours, she had a great idea. I posted it on our Facebook page the other day. She uses packing tape and tapes it down. Oh, she tapes these sides down, the ones that you haven't done yet. And then when she gets there, so they stay put and they can't just jump off of the loom. And then when she gets there, she just kind of goes under the tape a little bit by little. And that works too. So there's several different ways of going about it. Oh, what was it? I missed that. Oh, careful. Do we carry black and gold loops? So we do have, I'm using the black loops here. We do have black loops, and then we don't have a specific color that's called gold, but we have yellow. Let me see. This is our yellow. I actually have one. So it's kind of like a school bus yellow. Kind of like my sweater too. That's probably the closest you could get to gold, unless you're looking for more of a muted gold. And this is, what color is this? I think this is our ochre. So yeah, do have some options. We also have a sample card. So if you're looking for like a really super specific color, and you're not on a time crunch, I would recommend getting our sample card. Then you have all the colors and what they're called, and it makes the shopping much easier. So you don't get disappointed when you purchase all these loops and then it's not the color that you thought it would be, because it is difficult to correctly photograph everything, and then your computer will mess up the colors. And yeah, the sample card is the safest way to go. Steeler colors. Yeah, I'm not familiar with sport colors. Is that the gold and the red? The gold and the black, I mean. Sorry, I'm not that helpful with. I would have to Google it. If you were asking me in an email, I'd be Googling it before I give you an answer, because I don't know. So I do this on all 3 sides. It just makes my life a little bit simpler when going on that last row. Okay. So, end sport. Let's see. Do feel it in the fingers when you're working with these. They are quite tight. Lots of tension on them. So be aware of that. Okay, so we're at the last loop, and I like to pull it out a little bit with the hook like I just did, and then I go into the last one, pull it through. And if you're reading any instructions, they'll say that's it. I personally don't feel like that's safe enough, so I go through that and pull that black one back through again. So it's kind of like a double knot. And then I pull it nice and tight. And then you have that extra loop. And you take this off the loom. There we go. Okay. And now you kind of see that. So I like to pull on it and make sure that it goes back to the shape it's supposed to be, nice and square. There we go. Nice shape corners. Let me think. Do I have scissors here? I might have to get some. Excuse me. Okay. So I just kind of go through and cut them nice and close to as close as possible. Oh, look, I made a mistake. See that? Shoot. Oh, well, I'm not going to open it up because of that. Looks good on the other side. Good enough for me. It doesn't affect the weaving. It won't unravel or anything like that. So I kind of pull on them a little bit because sometimes you can get a little bit more off. Something like that. Really, you could do this all day. If you have to find a time to just kind of stop. Otherwise, you'll end up cutting for hours. Because technically, each loop, like I said, has 2 little strings like that, a beginner and an end. So, gonna kind of let that perfectionism go. If it's still like a loop like that, I usually don't cut them because you never know if that is actually in the middle of the loop. I mean, nothing can happen, but like I said, you just kind of have to let that go. Okay. One more. There we go. Okay, so this is the finished pot holder. See, there we go. I love it when it has like this rainbow effect on it. So that's kind of my thing. It's simple, but it just brings joy. I don't know. It's just fun. So I now wanted to show you guys how to find these on our website because that seems to also be an issue. So when you go to acornsandtwigs.com, this is what you'll see. This is our website. It's the home page. You'll find our logo up here and then our menu with all of the different topics that we carry, all the different products. So in order to find loops, you could just click on this search bar and write in loops. Press enter and you'll find all of our loop products. It keeps going on to the next page. Or you can go through the menu and our loops are in the handwork section and then under weaving. If you click on that, you'll find all of our weaving supplies. You'll also find things that are not potholder related, but most of the items in the weaving section have to do with potholders. So the first thing you'll notice is all of the pictures of the loops are clearly labeled, whether it's for the traditional size loops or the pro size loops, and if it's a bulk item. This is our Pro 7-inch loom. So for this loom, you also need the Pro sized loops. So this one here is the traditional sized loops. These are bundles of 18 loops, which is enough to fill half of the loom, which means you need at least 2 bundles to finish a full pot holder. This gives you the most flexibility in creating a design, something specific, both in traditional or in pro size. And if I click on this, so we see it's the traditional size pot holder refill loops. So these are bundles. You can tell in the price that it's not very many loops. So it's 18 loops in this case. And here you can choose which color you want. Something that's very important to note, if I click on this, it will change the color and I'll see which color I'm picking before I put it into my cart. One thing that is very important, and we wrote it here very clearly, is you have to choose the color in the drop-down menu. Clicking on this image down here to see the colors will not put the right color in your cart. You're simply changing between the pictures. If I click on the red and say, oh, I want that, and I go to add to cart, then I'm actually still putting a yellow into my cart because that's what's chosen in the drop down. So I would have to go in, click red, make sure it's still the same color I want, and then add to the cart. That's the same thing for the pro size loops. These are bulk. This is a random assortment of, so it's bulk, they're bright colors, traditional sized loops, either 14 ounces or 5 pounds. If I go back, now these two are again individual colors, but it's a whole bag with enough loops to make 2 full pot holders. So this is pre-packaged by Harrisville, and it's the standard refill bags. These with the 18 and the 27 loops, 27 is for the pro and 18 loops for the traditional size. Again, only half of a pot holder. These are specific to us. We are the only people that do that because we manually sort the colors and count them out for you. Okay, so then we also have, again, 2 more bulk options. These are both pro size. One is brights and one is pastel colors. Then we have the pastel and traditional, the pro designer and traditional size designer. So all the different colors are available in both sizes. We also have a sample card, which is very helpful. I recommend getting that. And then this is the smaller, the traditional sized loom. A book, and those are, the rest are, oh, then we still have some white loops down here. Again, either in 14 ounces or 5 pounds. Then I have some PDFs. They're downloadable. They're not a physical product. They're great for designing your pot holders. Okay, so that's it. One thing I also wanted to show you is how to find your shopping cart. So I currently am working on a computer, and so if you're using a mobile device, it will look a little bit different, but on the computer, your shopping cart is this little symbol right up here. If you click on it, well, I won't have anything in there right now. Mine is empty, but let's see, I want to show you. So if I go into a product and let's say I wanted to find silver, so I'll click on silver. I like that color, so I'm going to add it to my cart. If I wanted more than one bundle, I would place, let's say I want to do a whole silver pot holder, just silver. So I need 2 bundles. I'm going to add it to my cart. So now in order to get to your cart, if I didn't want any other colors, if I wanted more colors, I would just keep going and adding and adding and adding until I'm finished. And at this point, I would then either click here on cart or go up here to the shopping cart. Now you can see that I have 2 in there. And then I see I have the 2. Let's see. Yeah, I have 2 of those in there. I just got a pop-up asking me if I wanted to join the Oak Club membership, which is a great idea for people that are planning to be repeat customers. It costs $29.95 for the whole year, and then you get 15% off everything for all of your purchases within that year. But I'm just getting these 2, so that's all I need. I'm going to go to checkout. So, yeah, and then you just go through checkout. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. Going to go back. If I wanted to take these out of my cart, I just click on the X. And that's it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you liked my presentation. If you have any questions, please email me at info@acornsandtwigs.com. That's the easiest way to reach me. You can try reaching me on the chat box right down here at Need Help. Yeah, you can either send me a message through here. That will go into my mailbox if I'm not currently in the chat box. And other than that, yeah, thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Jennifer Schindler, and I'm the owner and co-founder with my husband of Acorns and Twigs. And thank you for watching.